No matter what you prefer to game on, whether you're playing an 8-bit classic or the latest AAA blockbuster, PC is definitely the most flexible and diverse place to game. But can you beat Xbox Scorpio's console with a $500 PC build? Hi, this is Colt Eastwood. At the end of 2015, my channel was ambushed by PC gamers that swore that for about $400, they could build a gaming PC that would crap all over the Xbox One. They sent me budget builds that hovered around $400 to $500. But last year, all that PC had to do was run big games at 1080p, 30 to 60 frames per second. Now, it's 2017 and the latest Xbox, Project Scorpio, is claiming native 4K gaming with VR support with premier headsets like the Oculus Rift. But is it realistic to keep saying, I can build a PC for the cost of your console that outperforms the Xbox? Can PC gamers keep saying that when consoles are starting to push closer to decent gaming PC rigs? So I decided to take a look at the minimum requirements for a VR-ready PC and pair that with a PC that could also game at native 4K. To be fair, this PC needs to target 30 FPS with just enough CPU power to get 60 FPS on lighter games. Steam clearly calls out the specs for VR readiness, but to achieve a benchmark at 4K 30 without spending the actual money and physically building a PC, I'll reference performance from Dealer Gaming's native 4K test this year. And stick around to the end of the video, Dealer is going to put all of this into perspective. Let's talk about the cost, because we have to lay some ground rules. You're not allowed to argue my prices by suggesting used gear or repurposing gear from an existing build. Just like an Xbox Scorpio consumer walking into a store, we are going to approach this like for like. Otherwise, I'll tell an Xbox customer to scour Craigslist the week after Scorpio launches and have them buy one for $400 from someone that needs money for crack. I'm using PC Part Picker because it is highly trusted and recommended by PC enthusiasts, and it automatically searches for the lowest price and adds rebates into the bottom line. The VR 4K PC starts with a great motherboard, the Gigabyte GA78LMT-S2 Micro ATX for $59.99. Next, we'll press in the AMD FX 8370, an 8-core CPU for $162.76. This CPU doesn't have a lot of longevity since it's a 2011 chip, but it's built for 30 FPS and some 60 FPS titles, and it will meet the requirements for VR. Let's drop down 2 sticks of 4GB G-Skill DDR3 RAM for $59.99. Scorpio comes with a 7200 RPM 1TB hard drive, and this Western Digital Caviar Blue hard drive only costs us $48.33. PCs require more power than consoles because, well, they do a lot more, and this build will get a 500-watt EVGA bronze certified supply for $36.88 after rebate. But wait, there's more. The star of the show is the GPU, and Dealer has proven that the Radeon RX 480 8GB card will get us to native 4K with no problems, while also satisfying the VR requirements. The GPU is $244.99. A console-killing PC is worthless if it can't get online for free, and the network port will only cost us 2 months of Xbox Live at $12.89. Everything's looking good for the Scorpio killing build until we stay true to the specs and throw in an Ultra HD Blu-ray drive. Pioneer offers the internal drive for $226.51. We still need a case to screw in all this shiny sexiness. The NZXT S340 mid-tower case will give you that "my machine doesn't look like an outdated VCR" look for $61.99. None of this is possible without an OS, and we are loading Windows 10. Oh, and we want to be able to play Forza Horizon 3 Hot Wheels, right? You can attempt to get Windows 10 from a shady site for $20, but we're going to go ahead and get it here for $87.89. Now, if you're great at math, you may suspect that we are over budget, especially since the budget was under the premise that I can build a PC that craps all over the Xbox Scorpio. This VR-ready 4K gaming PC comes to $1,006. If you wanted to argue that the 4K Blu-ray player has nothing to do with gaming, you're right. So let's drop the Blu-ray drive, and $1,006 now turns into $780. Now the PC games like a Scorpio, but it can't play 4K Blu-ray discs. But for $780 to $1,000, going PC means that you have access to an almost infinite amount of games. The Scorpio is restricted to mainstream games from the past 12 years. PC is always the better place to game if you want to use just about any controller, any peripheral, and play just about every type of game. But to tell console gamers to skip Xbox Scorpio and build a PC is asking them to increase their budget $300 to $500. You can argue that $60 a year for Xbox Live over the life of a console comes out as much as this PC build, but it's all a wash. And it comes down to personal preference. The important point here is to squash the idea that someone should take that $500 and try and build a gaming PC to compete with the Scorpio. But I expect massive backlash from PC gamers. So quit telling Xbox gamers to get a Scorpio killing PC, because by the looks of it, I don't think they can afford it.
Hold the fuck up, Colt. Are you telling me that you chose that piece of shit AMD CPU from 1947? What is your thinking there?
2011. Well, I was going to go with the Ryzen, but the prices are a little high, and really this AMD FX chip looks like it does the 4K gaming, and it'll also meet the requirement for VR. So I was just trying to save some money.
Yeah, okay. I get it, because, you know, me, myself, I'm looking at your build here. I'm trying to make it as cheap as possible. I even said, fuck it, I'm not getting a case. I'm just going to lay it on the floor and hook it all together. Okay, so I'm trying to get it even cheaper than what you've got it here. The AMD CPU is definitely one of the cheapest options. Will it be as effective at VR as Scorpio, being that VR needs to be around 90 frames a second? I guess time will tell. What the fuck are you doing with this GPU, though? I've heard really bad things. The drivers at launch weren't really that great. And, I mean, is it really capable of 4K 30 frames, ultra high settings, and 4K 60 on some other games?
The RX 480? Yeah. I mean, let me look back. I think some douche wandler named Dealer Gaming did a little bit of proving out with the 4K gaming on the RX 480.
Yes, I saw that video, and of course it's all photoshopped. I don't want to hear about that. But I will say that realistically, that card you chose does have 256 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth, while Scorpio is confirmed at 326 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth. So Scorpio definitely has an edge there. Yep, and I noticed that you covered some of what Digital Foundry were saying regarding the 1060, 70, and 80. Is that just bullshit, or did they really do that? I mean, should I take their word when they talk about PC and PlayStation 4, but just completely ignore it now that it's Xbox related? Like, how big of a fuckface should I be right now?
Well, I mean, they were just doing a test on Forza Apex on PC, but they said that the 1070 was right in line with the Scorpio and the performance on that game. So I'm curious to see what that translates to other games and maybe third-party games.
You're right. They did actually see Scorpio running on the same track in the rain, and they said it didn't drop any frames at 4K 60 ultra settings for XAA. They tried that with i7s, I do believe, and 1060, 70, and 80, and only the 1080 held the frame rate. The 1070 dropped a few frames. How is that possible, since Forza Apex is just the easiest thing to run ever? Is that the only reason Scorpio's getting 60? Or if that's the case, how come the 1070 dropped? Like, are people insulting the 1070 when they say, nah, that's just a super easy game to run at ultra settings, 4K 60? Why is it that a 1070 drop frames then, if that's the case?
Well, I think they don't realize they are insulting a PC build like that. If you're talking an i7 and a GTX 1070 combo, you're looking at just a little over $500 for those two components. And to make that into a gaming PC, you got to add another $200 or $300 in my experience.
Yeah,
At
I
least
would think that
$200.
it's actually more. I would think that it's more than five because I
Well,
think a 1070 is around 400 now. An i7 of any kind is going to be at least a couple $100, I would imagine, unless it's really old,
oh,
5 years old
I
in
like to
use.
I like to stay on the lower end of the spectrum when I guesstimate PC parts because I'll get just PC and Mar will just fly
Oh
at
yeah,
me.
because someone's Uncle Barbara will have a used one that like that had dog shit on it and they got refurbished and she found it for a half price offer crossed over in China and that's the part they would choose to get the cheapest result. I understand what you're saying, but
Yeah.
ultimately, is it safe to say, Colt Eastwood, that this thing's definitely more capable than an RX 480 and an RX 580 based off of what Digital Foundry are saying regarding the 1060, 70, and 80 test on Forza Apex? No AMD card right now can do those numbers that Scorpio was doing.
No, and I chose an
Is
AMD
it safe
card.
to say that you're getting a hell of a bargain with Scorpio? You're getting something in the same realm as a 1070 when
Yeah,
it
and
comes to this machine.
I'm so sure from just I've taken it so many angles and I just keep coming at 500, maybe lower, but I'm going to stay at 499. And there's no way you can build a PC that's going to game at 4K 30. It's going to be ready for VR and it's going to have a 4K Blu-ray player in it and all that stuff that you're getting with the Scorpio. And I know it makes these PC guys mad and they shouldn't get mad because we're both PC gamers. And
Mhm.
me, I think you're kind of like me. You like to game on Xbox and you like to game on PC, but geez, this Scorpio is actually going to be just right up there with a really good PC gaming rig for $500.
And you know what the best part of all of this is? It is extremely good for the consumer. Anybody who's upset about this, I don't know. I really don't understand your logic. It's great for the consumer. It's going to push gaming forward. It's been confirmed by a few different developers now. It's a good thing. And if you're a PC gamer, of course, play it on the PC. No one's saying don't play on the PC. If you just enjoy PC gaming, just game on PC. If you like consoles, then game on console. Be excited. There is no negative to this thing. It is a great thing that is coming this year. Very exciting.
They know exactly what the hardware does on the console because it's a closed environment, and they just make efficient use of what's there, and they cut things that they know they can cut to get the best performance. And
Yeah.
so that's why we've been playing on a $300 Xbox 360 for 10 years, and games look great. Sure, they didn't all run 60, they were at 720p, but 10 years ago, games looked really outstanding on an HD TV. One more question I got to ask you. What do you say to those guys? I hear this comment a lot. I'm just going to take my money and buy a 1080 Ti.
Take your $700 and buy a 1080 Ti. By all means, buy whatever you want to do. Buy a 1080 Ti and then buy a hooker and buy some crack. Do whatever you want to do. Just be safe, I would say. But secondly, if you're into 1080 Ti's, if you're into that stuff, enjoy it. You paid for it. There's not a goddamn thing that's wrong with that. But a console guy should be able to say, hey, I'm gonna buy Project Scorpio. I love consoles. I like the environment. I love the friends. I like the online. Can we get into should you pay for online and all that? No, we can't because the answer is pretty clear. You shouldn't have to pay to play online. But once you get 60 frames ultra settings, many PC gamers could give a fuck about being at the absolute highest resolution. That's the absolute truth, myself included. I will play at 1440 60 ultra settings over 4K 30 or any compromise on settings,
Absolutely.
and I'll do all of that with a smile on my face. So, yeah, you might get that jump in resolution for that 1080 Ti, but ultimately on Scorpio, you're getting resolution substantially higher than 1080p, and you're getting graphics fidelity that is substantially higher as well. Nonetheless, every platform has its advantages. Scorpio is going to be plenty capable, as I've been saying for the past year on my channel. Uh, it's going to blow people away. And if you're a console guy, it's going to be the best looking games you've ever seen in your life. So look forward to it. PC
What
guys, hey, be excited because it's pushing the industry, and people are finally going to get a taste of what real great graphics, phenomenal visuals on a console looks like for pretty much the first time ever, really, when it comes to being able to utilize all the top features. at that point, you're probably more of a PC gamer anyway. So it really doesn't matter. It's just a preference. So everyone has theirs. Let us know what yours is down below in the comments. Of course, any questions we'll be answering down below. So let us know what you guys think.
This is Colt Eastwood. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, if you like the way I'm presenting things on my channel, please hit the like button and subscribe. I'm trying to offer you guys more than just gameplay, and a challenge for you. Go to PC Part Picker and try and build a cheaper VR 4K gaming PC than the one that I've shown here. Alright guys, that's your challenge for the week. I'll see you again in the